All right, welcome back to Living Fit's 2 Minute Tuesdays. Hope everyone's had a great start to the week and is getting stuck into their health and fitness goals. Nice, easy one, well, kind of easy one this week. Comes from Leanne, who asked, I was losing some weight and now I've sort of plateaued. Why does this happen? So let's put 2 minutes on the clock and see what we can do with this. All right, so one of the biggest misconceptions is most people think that weight loss is linear. They think if they drop their calories by 250 calories per day and they stick to that day for the week, they're going to lose so much weight. Well, 1,750 calories would equate to almost half a kilo of weight loss. It doesn't really work that way, but let's just say for argument's sake that it did. And then they think, all right, so I'm going to lose half a kilo every week. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. There's a process in the body called adaptive thermogenesis, which means once you are in a calorie deficit, your body finds ways to cheat to make sure that you burn less calories because you're bringing less calories in. As far as your body is concerned, if you're in a caloric deficit, your brain literally thinks there's a shortage of food around. That's how it is. This is why cravings come around. So when your brain realizes, oh, geez, there's a shortage of food because I'm in a deficit for 3 or 4 days, they're going to start down-regulating functions in the body. You'll start to blink less, you'll feel a little bit less lethargic, you won't be as inclined to move as much, etc. So what actually happens, your body starts burning, it stops burning as many calories as it did. So it's called adaptive thermogenesis. So what will actually happen is your weight loss will come down, but because you're starting to burn less calories, it'll sort of plateau out. All right. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be more dramatic every single time. It just means that something else has to change. You have to adapt as your body adapts. So this is where you see calorie refeed days and all that sort of stuff come in. So people will be on a caloric restriction for 6 days, and then they'll have a day where they bring in 300 or 400 extra calories above their base norm to sort of trick your body thinking, oh, look, there's all this food around again. And then of course, the next day you're back to being in a 250 calorie deficit. Remember, as long as you're in a deficit, more days, well, overall for a week, you can still have those caloric refeed days where you bring in more above baseline. Now, what do I mean by baseline? Say my baseline is 2,500 calories, but to be in a deficit, I'm bringing in 2,250. So my calorie refeed day, I bring in 2,750. So it's sort of just, it tricks the body or tricks the brain into thinking, oh, all right, so there's more calories around. And then of course, the next day you go back to 2,250 and you start that downward progression again. But of course, there'll be a point where that won't become, that will plateau out as well. So that is when the changes have to become a little bit more sneaky, shall we say. You might creep in a day where you're only bringing in 2,000 calories, and then you'll have your calorie refeed day, and then you'll come back down to 2,200 and 2,000. This is, people don't like the term, but like at the end of the day, you do have to go through some form of restriction, some form of suffering, shall we say. It doesn't have to be extreme. Remember, if it's too much, you'll find every excuse under the sun to give it up. All right. If we make things too hard, too complex, people will just throw their hands up in the air and go, look, that's it. I've had enough. I can't stick to it anymore. It's not maintainable. It's not sustainable. At the end of the day, all nutritional protocols have to be sustainable, maintainable, so you can see the long haul. Otherwise, you end up just like everyone else and doing these yo-yo diets that just end up going nowhere. You get short-term relief, and then all of a sudden, oh, it worked great, but then it didn't work for me. No, it didn't work for you because you stopped doing it because you weren't able to maintain it, which is fine. Everyone's been there. So to answer Leanne's question, yes, adaptive thermogenesis, your body adapts to the fact that you're in a caloric deficit. So you have to make minute changes or just fluctuate things a little bit here and there to create a new adaptation, sort of like to trick the body. So I hope this has helped. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you did, please like the page and give it a thumbs up. We hope you're enjoying the content, and we'll see you next week for 2 Minute Tuesdays. Thank you.